Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. Uncanny X-Men 181 by Chris Claremont and John Romita Jr. I love this X-Men here. They have returned from Battle World. And I do have a playlist for both the X-Men. I have an X-Universe playlist where I have everything related all together in reading order. I also have a New Mutants playlist, so feel free to check that out. I have a Secret Wars playlist. As of this recording, there are six videos in there, and it's a 12-issue series, so hopefully we'll be able to get them within the next few months. And so here we got Loki firing on a real dragon. So we got a little dragon and a big dragon here. So, all right. And so this is the classic X-Men cover that this story was reprinted in. And so look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a dragon. And so Dan Green will be the inker. Dan Green, by the way, rest in peace. Chris Claremont is the long time writer. So Dan Green has passed. John Romita Jr. is still around. He's doing Amazing Spider-Man as of recording of this video, 2024. Tom Rozakowski is one of the greatest letterers. He's currently working on Spawn with Todd McFarlane. Glynis Wein is the crusty old colorist. And Louise Jones is about due. She will be leaving in a couple of issues to be a writer at Power Pack. And then Jim Shooter's still the editor in chief. Tokyo Story up here. And so they're trying to identify which dragon it is. And so suddenly, from right underneath his belly, there is a portal. And who should come except falling down except the X-Men here. So the kids are like, hey, it's the X-Men. And so suddenly there's a gust of wind and it's the dragon flying off. And Wolverine says, and this is his knee here, by the way. This is his arm and then his knee here. I hate to tell you the truth, but this ain't Central Park. And Storm says, so long as it's Earth, Wolverine, I am content. And so this kid offers them a tea, and Professor says, thank you. That's very kind. So Rogue says, is everyone here? And Nightcrawler says, it seems so. And he wonders where they are, and Wolverine says, look at the kids, Elf. Listen to them talk. It should be obvious. And then in Japanese, Wolverine asks him, where are we? Or where in Japan are we? And he says, Kanagawa, Wolverine-san on the main island of Honshu. And so, I like the description. Nearest town of Yamato. So, and Wolverine goes, can't seem to stay out of this flaming country even when I want to. We're south of Tokyo, about 20 clicks inland. And Storm says, we were told we'd be returned to where we were taken from. I remember us materializing in New York. Then there was a blinding flash. Our world turned inside out and we woke in this hilltop. What went wrong and what happened to Cyclops? Why is he no longer with us? So, of course, it tells us here to see where they were, see Secret Wars. And so he says, excuse me, but is that little dragon related to that giant one that flew away? Look at him. Dragon? What dragon? He's like, look at Loki. The creature that became involved with Loki while we were off Earth, but they were the same size. And he goes, not anymore, Charlie. And what should we do, Professor? And so the kids are like, oh, I love these. My favorite heroes get their autographs. And so Professor says, in the children's minds, I can see today's date, X-Men. We've been gone over a week. So 8 days, 9 days. So we're too far from home. I'm afraid there's little chance of contacting Kitty Pryde telepathically. So Storm says, when we were snatched up from Earth by the Beyonder, Kitty had just flown off to the Massachusetts Academy with her friend Douglas Ramsey. Since that school is affiliated with the Hellfire Club, she has been depending on us to back her up in case of trouble. Rogue, you can reach home far faster than any of us, save perhaps Storm, and have sufficient power to aid Kitty should she need to. The rest of the X-Men will follow as soon as we've dealt with the dragon. Um, and Rogue says, Storm, you're the boss. You want I should go? And so, much as I would love to, Rogue, my place is with the team. The dragon is here because of us. We're responsible for it. We have no choice but to ensure it does no harm. So, make certain Cyclops as well as the mutants are all right as well. I'll do my best, Professor. And he said, and he thinks here, I shouldn't have spoken as I did. The others are confused and angry. They don't know who's in charge. But what am I to do? After years of being forced to sit on the sidelines, I'm at last able to truly be a part of the team. I can't help leading in the field as I do in the classroom. The role comes natural to me, even if I'm not sure I should give it up, even if I want to. And so Wolverine here, now it's his turn. I hope Charlie knows what he's doing. Conflict of command is never good. I had my fill of it when Ododo first took over and Sight kept horning in. Meaning well and doing well, but always undercutting Storm's authority and confidence. So, and Wolverine continues here. He says, that was when she started getting tough inside. I wonder if she was overcompensating, trying to be better than Cyclops at his job. He did better than anyone. Storm tore out her soul to do this job, Charlie, and you're pulling rank as much as tells her it was for nothing, that you think she can't cut it. That's wrong, bub, and so are you. Then say it out loud, buddy. And so now we are in a Japanese war room, and they said they're heading for Tokyo, and this guy says, this can't be. This is the off season. And I love this. Just what the world needs, another monster. Why, Hideki? Why couldn't it have attacked Los Angeles? So they're deploying their defenses. And so they said another sighting. It's the American superhero group, the X-Men. They're pursuing the dragon. And he says, splendid. Of course, I have the utmost faith in our troops and weaponry, but against menaces such as this, Lady Mariko, it's best we get all the help we can get. And of course, she thinks here, and I love the screen tones being applied, the X-Men, Wolverine should be with them. And so Sunfire is right here, and she goes, Shiro, perhaps you may also be of use. And he says, is your concern for your homeland, Mariko, or your Gaijin lover? And she reminds him here, I am Lord of Clan Yashida, cousin. It is not your place to question my will. Merely obey. Kind of putting it in his place because he's a bit of an arrogant. And so downtown, and he crumples up this building here, throwing stuff here. So of course here come the X-Men, and Storm's using wind sort of to carry them here. And Professor Xavier is like, the size of that thing and the strength, it's tearing the skyscraper apart with ease. And the Storm goes, but why? It was always a gentle beast, ours and Loki's friends. Could its size change and this alien environment have disoriented it? The poor creature has been driven mad. Our first priority is to safeguard innocent lives. Colossus, your responsibility is the falling debris. And so he says, I'm glad of some action. It will take my mind off the love and happiness I have lost forever. Which he's talking about Saji. And it's, they said here, again, read Secret Wars. So he takes the steel beam here. And I find it funny. The steel beam is nice and straight. So, all right. So he crumples that in there. Storm redirects some of it here. Nightcrawler teleports to get some of them here. And Professor Xavier, there are scores of people trapped in the wreckage, Wolverine. I can hear their mental screams, feel their agony. And Wolverine says, just point me in the right direction, Charlie. I'll do the rest. So, Professor, yes, Storm, says, Storm, says Professor X, sorry. Can you forge a Psylink with the dragon? It knows you, trusts you, perhaps as much as any of us. Perhaps you can calm her. And he says, I'll try. So, Um, Astonishing. For the most part, the creature's thought processes are quite normal and orderly. What makes she's doing perfectly sense. She can't comprehend why everyone's so upset. I'll have to probe deeper, make her understand. No, she's misinterpreting my mind touch as an attack. She's toppling that building on me. I love this drawing here, how just looking at. I wonder if he looked at some anime from back in the day. And so Shiro or Sunfire here destroys that thing here. And he says, I'm disappointed in you, Xavier San. Have you soon forgotten the protector of this most ancient land? And of course, he yells out for Sunfire. Nice. This is a nice pose. So, the lad is as cocky and careless as ever. His nuclear plasma bolt incinerated most of the wreckage. But there's still more than enough to finish me here. So, and you can see here, Sunfire and the tanks here are throwing everything they can, and the airplanes here at this dragon here. So, Wolverine says those guys know their business, but then, from what Mariko told me, and what I saw myself when I worked over there, they've had a lot of practice. And Nightcrawler says Loki won't like them shooting at his lady love. And Wolverine says, for what's to worry, Elf? They're not doing her any damage. So, we got an interlude, and we got Madeline Pryor. Suddenly, Cyclops shows up, but he's wearing what normal street clothes, no uniform. And of course, he's been gone a little over a week. So she goes, Scott, you're back. You're alive. He goes, hi, Madeline. You won't believe what happened. You disappeared right out of my arms. I wasn't my idea. I was kidnapped. That's supposed to make me feel better? You've been gone over a week. Do you have any idea what it was like not knowing if you were dead or alive, not able to help? He says, it wasn't any easier for me. I thought you understood. I can't change who or what I am. My powers as Cyclops gave me special responsibility. They also make me a target. You can see Maddie starting to cry. Maddie, I'd give anything to live a normal, ordinary life with you. I don't think we'll ever be so lucky. I'm sorry. But I guess this is what they meant for better or worse, she says. And why is she wearing high heels in All right. Could be. I love you, Red. Likewise, Hotshot. Till death do us part. So, all right. Interlude is over. Here we go. And the dragon is still destroying that. And look at this. This is the wind generated from his wings here. And Storm says, I must contain the dragon's wind or she will level the city. But its power, fighting a hurricane would be less effort, says Storm. And so, Goddess, I've created a tornado. It is hurling me into the air. Thrown too high, too fast, effort. And then the professor here, and Professor X says, Sunfire needs some practice. He should have pulverized that debris. And it ends up, he's heard, my legs can't move them. I can't feel anything. Merciful heaven, I've only just begun to walk again. That can't be taken from me. It isn't fair. I won't allow it. And Wolverine goes, Charlie, cut it out, will you? You're screaming in our heads. Turn down the volume before you fry our brains. Wolverine, I'm trapped. And Wolverine says, you ain't alone, pal. I'm already looking for someone. How bad are you hurt? And so here comes Colossus. So he says, Wolverine, continue your search. I sense thought patterns near you. To your left. Hurry. They are disjointed and very weak. On my way, Professor. So, and Professor X says, I'm ashamed of myself. I'm not normally injured, far from it, but when I thought my legs had been crushed, I panicked. I never dreamed it was possible to know such terror. My body may be whole, but the old psychic wars remain. Perhaps forever. That's why you should probably not go into combat. So, all right. So Colossus is gonna take all that stuff out here, and Wolverine goes through here. He goes, I smell blood. Konnichiwa. How are you ladies doing? Kid looks okay. She's just scared. Can't blame her. Her mom must have shielded her body with her own collapse. Hush, little one, don't disturb. Your mother Let her rest. And the mom's like, my chest hurts. I cannot seem to catch my breath. Am I dying? And Wolverine says, yes, in Japanese. I am afraid. And Wolverine's like, I am with you. My daughter, Amiko, will you care for her? And he says, I will keep her safe. I'll see she's raised as if she were my own. You have my word. Arigato, samurai-san. Domo arigato. So, I forgot who this kid grows up to be. He finds someone, so he of course doesn't take her, uh, but he will foster her and make sure that she has a family that will care for her. So, and so here comes the dragon, and um, Sunfire catches Storm, and he hits him with the wing, and or he bumps into it, and down goes Storm and Sunfire, hitting themselves here. And so the kids go, "Hey, are you guys all right?" And then they look back and say, "Jiro." And look at the shadow, nice screen tones being used, and uh, children run, and here comes Loki. Look at little Loki, and so and she recognizes him, and he's like admonishing her, like, "What the heck?" And throws fire on her, and she runs away. Um, he's basically admonishing her, and so I love this part here. General, they're heading north across the Sea of Japan towards Soviet airspace, and the general is like, "Good, let them try and shoot that down. Not our problem anymore." So, range. So, range closing between the two targets. Interception by my ancestors. What is it? What's going on? A massive energy discharge, sir. It's gone. The dragon's gone. They're both gone. So, now the X-Men are helping with the cleanup here. Um, this guy is the reporter here, and so this guy tells him the monster's vanished. The danger's over. And Wolverine's like, well, big deal. The damage's already been done. And he says, we'll have to trace the kid's family. And Nightcrawler says, and if she has none, and Wolverine says, I gave my word, Elf. So Mariko is glad everyone is unhurt for the X-Men and notices that Xavier is now walking. And she goes, I wish I could be by my love's side. She means Wolverine. Seeing Logan only reminds me of how much I miss him. Does he still feel the same? I wish you well, dear one, though we may never meet again nor gain the happiness we deserve. The path of duty is hard for me and fraught with peril as it is for you. I pray I can walk it with your courage and honor. So, and so then they're back at the hill where it began here. And, Loki, sure don't want any, don't look any for the, sorry. Loki sure don't look any the worse for wear. Oh my god, that was hard to say. Radar was tracking both him and the giant dragon, then poof, they vanished. Perhaps, Professor, you can learn where they went and why Loki's lady friend has not returned. And Professor X says, sensing his thoughts is one thing, Colossus. Comprehending them is another. Loki is truly alien, and I suspect far more than a simple animal. He's like, yeah. I have a feeling that of us all, only Kitty has a hope of truly understanding him. Cool. And therein lies part of the answers to Colossus's question. The dragon, poor thing, was an unrequited love. So, that doesn't explain why she suddenly turned violent and tore Tokyo apart. And so that was Nightcrawler who said that. And Wolverine says, love makes you crazy, Elf. You should know that. You find yourself thinking about settling down, raising a family, building a house or a nest. It's a nice dream when it works. So it looks like she was pregnant and she was building a nest. So we're now in Washington, D.C. here, the epilogue here. And someone says here, Senator Kelly, this bill is an obscenity. And This is Senator Kelly here. Do you deny the facts? No, Robert, merely your conclusions and the methods you propose to deal with them. Philip, it takes sophisticated technology and expertise to build a nuclear bomb, none at all to create a mutant. I can name a half dozen already extant with power sufficient to ravage the world. Who can say how many others exist that we don't know about? We have to be able, as a nation, perhaps as a species, defend ourselves. And this other senator says, granted, but what you propose will only make matters worse, Robert. This isn't that far removed from legalized slavery. I respect you as a colleague and friend, but I won't support you on this. Indeed, I'll do everything possible to stop you. And Kelly says, you're making a terrible mistake, Philip. One of us is, Senator. So, of course, this is the Mutant Affairs Control Act. And he says, I only hope it isn't irrevocable. So, next, Love and Madness. So, here we go. The X-Men have returned from Battle World. Uncanny X-Men 181. Chris Claremont, John Romita Jr., and Dan Green. Like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.